15 rock songs from 1980 that defined a pivotal year in music history. 1980. That year marked a transitional period in rock music, bridging the decline of punk and the rise of new wave, post-punk, and the continuing evolution of hard rock and heavy metal. Number 15. Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell. When Black Sabbath released their album Heaven and Hell on April 25, 1980, they did something many thought impossible. They replaced Ozzy Osbourne and came back stronger. Ronnie James Dio stepped in as vocalist, and what happened next was a creative renaissance that breathed new life into Sabbath's sound. The album went platinum in the US and influenced an entire generation of power metal and metal subgenres, proving the band could evolve and thrive despite losing their iconic frontman. I'm stuck with a value. Ain't got no money and I'm lying. Number 14. David Bowie, Ashes to Ashes. August 1st, 1980 brought David Bowie's triumphant return to commercial success with a song that served as a sequel to his 1969 classic, Space Oddity. Revisiting the character of Major Tom over a decade later, the track reached number 1 on the UK singles chart, but what really turned heads was the music video. At £250,000, it was the most expensive music video ever made at the time, and Bowie pioneered the use of expensive artistic videos just before MTV would launch the following year. The song appeared on his album Scary Monsters and Super Creeps, released September 12th, blending new wave with art rock in a way only Bowie could pull off. Number 13. Judas Priest, Breaking the Law. July 1980 brought us one of metal's most recognizable anthems when Judas Priest released Breaking the Law from their album British Steel, which had dropped in April. Written during an economic recession in the UK, the song captured the frustration and rebellion of the times while the album went platinum. The music video featured the band robbing a bank and became iconic, representing a more streamlined, accessible sound for heavy metal that helped define the new wave of British heavy metal movement.
Spades, new wave, dance great, anyways crazy, anyways it's still rock and roll to me.
Number 12. Billy Joel, It's Still Rock and Roll to Me. Released in May 1980 from his album Glass Houses, this became Billy Joel's first number 1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100, stayed at the top for 2 weeks, and won a Grammy for Best Male Rock Vocal Performance. Joel wrote it as a response to critics and changing musical trends, satirizing music industry fashion at a time when rock was fragmenting into multiple directions. The Glass Houses album, released March 12th, represented Joel's move toward a harder rock sound and served as his declaration that no matter how music evolved, rock and roll remained at its core.
You better make sure you put me in my place. Shine! Come on!
Number 11. Pat Benatar, Hit Me With Your Best Shot. September 1980 gave us one of rock's most empowering anthems when Pat Benatar released Hit Me With Your Best Shot from her album Crimes of Passion, which had come out in August. Written by Eddie Schwartz and originally existing as a demo, Benatar was initially hesitant about recording it, but she made it her own, and the song reached number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100. The Crimes of Passion album went multi-platinum, helping establish her as a major rock artist in the 80s and proving that women could deliver hard-hitting rock with the best of them.
And you may find yourself in another part of the world.
Number 10. Talking Heads, Once in a Lifetime. From the album Remain in Light, released October 8, 1980, came Once in a Lifetime, and though the single wasn't released until February 1981, it captured everything that made 1980 special musically. Produced by Brian Eno, the album incorporated funk, African rhythms, and art rock into something completely unique, while David Byrne's lyrics were partly inspired by Preacher's speaking styles. The phrase "same as it ever was" became culturally iconic, and the music video, directed by Tony Basil, became a staple on early MTV as experimental rock somehow became accessible. Number 9. The Police, Don't Stand So Close to Me. Released in September 1980 from their album Zenyatta Mondata, This song showcased the Police at the height of their powers. Sting wrote it based partly on his experiences as a teacher before becoming a musician, and the lyrics dealt with uncomfortable territory, a teacher's inappropriate attraction to a student, even referencing Nabokov's Lolita. The song reached #1 on the UK singles chart, won a Grammy Award for Best Rock Performance by a duo or group with vocal in 1982, and proved the band could tackle complex subject matter while remaining commercially successful. Number 8, The Pretenders, Brass in Pocket. Released in November 1979, but reaching its peak popularity in early 1980, Brass in Pocket became The Pretenders' biggest hit single when it reached #1 on the UK singles chart in January 1980. Written by Chrissie Hynde and James Honeyman Scott from their self-titled debut album, the song almost didn't make the cut because Hynde initially disliked it and didn't want it included. Brass is British slang for money, but here it was used metaphorically about confidence and self-assurance, helping establish the Pretenders as a major act in showcasing Hynde's unique voice and perspective in rock music. Number 7, Blondie, Call Me. February 1980 brought us Billboard's #1 song of the entire year, when Call Me by Blondie reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and stayed there for 6 weeks. The best-selling single in both the US and UK in 1980, it was written by Debbie Harry, who provided the lyrics, and Giorgio Moroder, who composed the music specifically for the film American Gigolo. The track was actually first offered to Stevie Nicks, who declined, and Blondie proved that rock bands could embrace dance music and electronic production without losing their edge. Number 6, Motörhead, Ace of Spades. October 27, 1980, gave us pure, unfiltered rock and roll fury when Motörhead released Ace of Spades as a single, followed by the album of the same name on November 8th. Written by Lemmy Kilmister, Eddie Clarke, and Phil Taylor, the song reached number 15 on the UK singles chart and became the band's signature song, while the album went gold in the UK. Lemmy wrote the lyrics about gambling and risk-taking, but the song became one of the fastest, most aggressive rock songs of its era, hugely influential on the development of speed metal and thrash metal. Number 5, Joy Division, Love Will Tear Us Apart. June 1980 brought us one of rock's most tragic and beautiful songs when it was released on Factory Records 1 month after singer Ian Curtis's suicide on May 18, 1980. Love Will Tear Us Apart became Joy Division's highest charting release, reaching number 13 on the UK singles chart, and the remaining members would go on to form New Order. Written by Curtis reflecting on his failing marriage and produced by Martin Hannett, this post-punk masterpiece has been re-released multiple times over the years, charting again and again as a heartbreaking reminder of what was lost. Number 4, Pink Floyd, Comfortably Numb. From the album The Wall, released November 30th, 1979, Comfortably Numb became a rock radio staple throughout 1980. Written by David Gilmour and Roger Waters, with Gilmour writing the music and Waters the lyrics, it features one of the most celebrated guitar solos in rock history and was part of the rock opera concept album The Wall, which sold over 30 million copies worldwide. Depicting a conversation between a patient named Pink and a doctor, the two guitar solos by Gilmour are considered some of the finest ever recorded, showing that progressive rock could still be powerful and relevant as the new decade began. Number 3, The Clash, London Calling. Though the album was released December 14, 1979 in the UK, it came out in January 1980 in the US, making it very much a 1980 cultural moment. Written by Joe Strummer and Mick Jones and produced by Guy Stevens, the album is often cited as one of the greatest rock albums ever made, with lyrics referencing nuclear fears, drug culture, and social displacement. The famous cover photo taken by Penny Smith shows Paul Simonon smashing his bass guitar at the Palladium in New York City in September 1979, And the image, which homaged Elvis Presley's debut album, became one of rock's most iconic photographs. Number 2. Queen, Another One Bites the Dust. Released August 22nd, 1980 from their album The Game, which came out June 30th. Another One Bites the Dust showed Queen at their most versatile. Written by bassist John Deacon, the song reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 3 weeks and did something unusual for a rock band. It also topped the R&B charts. The famous bass line was inspired by disco and funk music. Roger Taylor initially played the drum pattern on a drum case, and Michael Jackson heard the song at a nightclub and suggested it be released as a single, which became one of Queen's best-selling singles.
As the Brit, we got some Back in Black for you, ready?
Number 1, AC/DC, Back in Black. July 25th, 1980 brought us not just the greatest rock song of the year, but one of the greatest rock songs of all time. AC/DC released Back in Black, their first album with new lead singer Brian Johnson, following the death of Bon Scott on February 19, 1980, and what they created has sold over 50 million copies worldwide. Recorded at Compass Point Studios in Nassau, Bahamas, and produced by Robert John Mutt Lang, the album was written as a tribute to Bon Scott, with an all-black album cover designed as a memorial. The iconic guitar riff created by Angus and Malcolm Young became instantly recognizable around the world, and AC/DC took their grief and channeled it into creating the ultimate rock anthem. Pure rock and roll energy, defiance in the face of tragedy, and proof that great rock music is eternal. 1980 gave us an incredible diversity of rock music, from the heavy metal resurgence of AC/DC, Black Sabbath, and Judas Priest, to the new wave innovations of Blondie, The Police, and Talking Heads, to the post-punk artistry of Joy Division and The Clash. These 15 songs represent different facets of what rock could be, from the experimental to the anthemic, from the deeply personal to the universally relatable, and MTV would launch just 1 year later, fundamentally changing how we consumed music. These songs were created in an era when the music had to stand on its own through radio and live performance, and they've endured for over 4 decades because they're simply great rock and roll.